Okay, I'm going to talk real quick because I don't have much battery on my tablet. I might do another video. You know, I was thinking maybe I should go to YouTube and see how you do some of these shows, because I'm like, this is kind of like one of those reality TV shows. What I'm doing is giving people an inside look at what goes on, and most people wouldn't do this. Most people, people on these reality shows, I mean, people sit around and mock them and ridicule them and laugh at them, but some things you learn from. And I talked to my therapist yesterday afternoon, and I was saying, what I'm going through, lots of people go through, and they don't want to talk about it. And even if my parenting is unconventional, I don't really think my parenting is that unconventional. I think it's effective. I think it's I don't know why it would really raise many eyebrows, but not everybody's going to agree with me. Not everybody agrees with anybody. And I could go to that judge and say, "Are you kidding me? Your parents took you to an Alabama football game when you were a baby? What were they thinking? That is not an appropriate environment for a baby. They'll get overstimulated. There's all kinds of germs in those crowds. The noise isn't good for their ears. What kind of parent would take a baby or a toddler to an Alabama football game? I mean, that's just insane. That's my opinion." And Judge Calloway said, "Oh yeah, she's an Alabama fan, and her, she's been going to football games since she was a baby, and she took her son to football games or whatever." And I'm like, what an idiot. Because, not really, but I wouldn't do that. But it's her, she's the parent. She's got authority. She's got discretion. That you can't prove, more than likely, you can't prove substantial harm from taking a child to a baby to a football game. But that's just an example of it's just different opinions. But she's got the right to make oh my God, I was doing yard work and I was cutting down bushes and I scratched myself up. But she's got discretion and I've got discretion. And she has never shown harm. If anybody who's watching this, reading anything, you prove to me how I have harmed her. And it's one thing to say, "Oh yes, this definitely caused harm," and another thing to show proof of harm. And basically what it boils down to is, well, generally speaking, I don't think what the mother's doing or saying is, it's like, and I'm not talking about court with my daughter. So they keep saying, well, she's talking about things she's not supposed to talk about. No, I'm not. They're just pretending that I am. I am helping my daughter deal with a difficult situation as best as I can. And instead of picking me apart for me doing the very best I can, and I have a clear conscience, and I'll tell you why I still believe I am on the right track. That I had a meltdown Saturday. And I told my therapist about this, and I think so many people think I'm too nice to Dilara's dad. But I don't want to give the impression that I care more about his feelings than I do about my daughter's well-being. So, and I felt like I had done that. I had given that impression to my daughter. And if I'm giving that impression to my daughter, then I might be giving that impression to her dad, and I just don't think that's good. My number one priority, people want to know, oh, if you must not want your kid back, blah, blah, blah. You have to have your way. It's your way or no way. And most people aren't saying that. The trolls are saying that. And some people who parent differently from me might be saying it. They might be imagining what they would do in my situation. They have no idea what they would be doing if they were in my situation. So, I stand by everything I'm doing. I believe I am making the best decisions I can. I think everything I've done, as far as I've been able to do it, has been in my daughter's best interest. I think everything I've done has not made her worse or her dad worse. But the bottom line is, who created this situation for my daughter? Who put her in the situation where she's cut off from her mom, angry and confused and worried and sad, very much feeling the injustice of it all, frustrated because nobody cares. They don't. Some people care, but they can't or won't do anything. But there's not a person other than Dilara, and I think the first guardian ad litem, Rachel Welty, and Dilara, and everybody else, everybody making the decisions in court and making the recommendations in court don't really care. Dilara's happiness and well-being are not their number one priority. Their number one priority is looking good in court, asserting their power, and supporting the father, because they like him better than me, because at least at the beginning he seemed like a nicer person. And I'm the one that's like pushing back. No, you can't take my daughter. So, and you're not following the rules. You've got to prove harm. Without proving harm, you have no right to interfere in my relationship with my daughter or with my parenting decisions, as long as my parenting decisions aren't infringing upon the other parents. So from day one, this whole case has been totally unnecessary, and I'm trying to minimize the damage to my daughter, and I believe I am. And I believe the number one reason behind stopping my phone calls was because my daughter's saying things on unrecorded phone calls that I can use against him in court, and things that contradict what the guardian ad litem has said my daughter wants. But most of all, it's putting her dad in a bad light. And I have tried so hard to minimize my daughter's, I can show you, I know what I'm doing is good, because she still loves her dad, and she still wants both parents in her life. She got really mad at him the other day, and she said she didn't mean what she said. My last phone call, where she was telling me about what she considered to be physical abuse. I think he was a little rough with her, but she thought it was really, really unfair and mean, and she felt poorly treated. And instead of standing up for her, I made excuses for her dad and kind of blamed her, and I had to apologize for that. So, I saw her, when did I see her? Saturday. This is Tuesday. No, I saw her yesterday, because we got off schedule. I saw her yesterday, Monday the 1st, and we're good. She's good with her dad. She's and she recovered so well with me. And when she's with me and I tell her no, I can not just control her, I can help her want to do things that she needs to do. Because I love her, I respect her. She knows she's number one. She knows, well, when she's, I'm in a bad spot with her dad, because if I say something negative, even when you need to. I mean, if somebody's mistreating you, you're not doing your child any favors by not saying, oh, yeah, he really shouldn't be treating you like that. So, I'm in a bad spot. I'm doing the best I can. The phone calls, I'm going to post all this stuff. I redacted the names from what I'm going to post online. I'm going to put them in an album. Yeah, I guess I'll put them in its own album. With links you can share even if people aren't on Facebook. So I think the ones on my profile page. I'll double check. I'll either put them on my profile page under photo albums or on my Bring Dilara Home group. But I definitely want the link to this to be accessible to anybody, whether they have Facebook or not. Because some people just do Twitter or something else. I want everybody to know about this. And I'm giving a play-by-play, and people, even when it makes me look bad, like when I have an emotional, feeling, if I feel bad, and I share that. If I feel paranoid, if I feel worried, I'll share that, because these are normal, and they're normal and maybe, I guess, healthy. They're normal responses. Anxiety, worry, those are normal responses. Paranoia, a little bit of paranoia. Yeah, I was a little bit high on the paranoia scale. But when you don't know what's going on, and everybody's out to get you, and you do know, and that's what my therapist said, he said it's not paranoia if people really are out to get you. And I know that they are. I just don't know how far they'll go and what they'll do, and I don't know how sick the other person is. My number one thing isn't to see Dilara, and it isn't to bring Dilara home. My number one priority is keeping myself mentally and spiritually healthy. Number two, and I can't do number two unless I do number one, is to do everything I can, including number one, to keep Dilara as healthy as I can. Whatever I can do to support healthy development in her, as far as I'm able to do it, that's what I'm going to do. And it is not healthy for her, for me to not be myself. And it's already been shown, for 3 years, that nobody thinks I have anything positive to contribute to Dilara's life. If they did, they wouldn't keep me cut out for so long. And so I'm totally expendable. Nobody's ever said Dilara needs you. They might say she wants you, but they won't say Dilara needs your mothering. She needs your nurturing. She did well in your care before, and she's doing bad because she's being deprived of that. For the last 3 years, for a third of her life, that's the third of her life that she has not functioned well. She's doing very poorly. So, it is my way or the highway. I either get to meet my daughter's needs as far as I am able to, in the way she needs me to meet them, or I'll wait till she turns 18, and then I'll be a mother to an adult child, if she lives that long. I cannot stay healthy and have all these and then she'll pick up on it too, and she won't be getting her needs met. I can relate to her, nurture her the way nobody else can, and the proof of that is dozens of people have tried in the past 3 years. She's had various camp counselors. Well, maybe not dozens, many. She's had teachers, assistant principals, counselors, various people. Nobody's been able to meet her needs. Nobody's been able to replace me. You can take a whole army of people, and they can't replace me. Me, the mother I am, the human being I am, the personality I am. That's what my daughter needs. And if they can't value that, it doesn't matter what I do. They're not going to let me be in her life. So I'm just going to keep complaining and keep being out there for Dilara and keep encouraging her. You're going to speak up for yourself, and the older she gets, the more she'll be able to say for herself. But what's going on in court with me, it's really been eye-opening. And I would just ask everybody to, if you read appeals court decisions and they're full of full of, findings of facts or whatever. So much of that's garbage, because I've seen it in my case. I've seen it in other people's cases that I know some of the facts of that contradict what's being presented in court. We've got to get the lawyers to stop lying and making misrepresentations to the judge. That is already one of the rules. It's not being enforced. We have to get people punished for perjury. As long as people go to court and lie and make misrepresentations, there's not going to be any justice. You can't have justice without truth. You can't have liberty without justice. And when you don't have liberty and justice, you're going to be sick and suffer and be unhealthy. I mean, that's why we've got the Constitution and these fundamental liberties, because we need them. They're what keep us healthy. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to post this. I'm going to, what am I going to do next? I'm so tired. Listen to these phone calls. There was also there's the CD. He's got this, and then he's got, sorry about that. Get my face right there. The CD, and I'm going to check to see, are these the entire phone calls? I'm going to have to make a transcript of the entire phone call. And I don't know how many there are on here, but when I get this uploaded, I'll probably put this on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, and put it on Facebook, and then like a video. I don't know. I'll get it up there somehow and put it with this, so you'll have everything together. It's a pretty short motion, and I am going to answer it, and have my lawyer, and yeah, Willis Jones apparently is going to be representing me on this phone call issue on the 27th. There's a different DCS attorney. They were looking for a DCS representative, and they found one DCS attorney who doesn't know anything about the case, so he's going to come on the 27th with this. So we're going to have mediation. So the judge, pending, she said she was concerned. If these allegations are true, I have concerns, and the mother's been told not to say things like this, and she's saying things like this. Not that the child's being harmed by it. Oh, she's not supposed to be saying this. I maintain my daughter needs to talk about her feelings. She needs her feelings acknowledged, and she needs her mom. And I've got to listen to this. I mean, when I go back and look at things, sometimes I'm like, well, I wish, I could have handled that better or something. But that's true of every parent, every day. There's something, if you put them under a microscope, or if they put themselves under a microscope, especially if it's a difficult situation, maybe there's a way they could have handled that better. That's about everything in life. Hindsight's 20/20. But I maintain nothing I said to my daughter ever, nothing I have done to my daughter ever has harmed her. And if anybody can show me that definite proof of harm, go ahead. I want to see it. And then I want to see you apply that same standard to other parents and say, oh yeah, they need to be cut out of their child's life. And you need to understand how damaging it is to a child to be cut off from their parent. That's just common sense, but research backs it up. The adverse childhood experiences studies also show, even when there's problems in the home, that secure attachment with the primary parent or the primary attachment figure has a protective effect. For whatever chaos is going on, the children are protected as long as they've got that secure relationship and secure contact with their primary attachment figure. I'm my daughter's primary attachment figure. I always have been. I was her primary caregiver till 3 years ago, and even right now, I think the nurturing that she needs, she's got a good relationship with her dad. And I support that relationship with her dad. But he cannot do it by himself. And the way he's stressing out and breaking down, he filed this the day after he hit the windshield screaming at my daughter about how tired he was because he had to go pick her up from camp early because she was having her emotional issues, and he had to go pick her up early. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And when I get this up, get my answer, I'll get my answer posted, and that's it.